Hello, folks. Well, you know you're in for a treat when you hear that tune, because it's time for another week of the RecPoker Podcast. And we've got all sorts of new, crazy, cool stuff going on right here. This is the first week. We're trying some stuff differently. We've got, as you can see, a full house tonight. This is our new time. We're meeting at 9 o'clock Eastern. But it's not only that, we're also going to be playing in the home game during the show for the first time with our guests. I'm going to introduce you to Ben and Sam Fishman in just a moment. First, I want to just shout out Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. They are the official sponsor of the RecPoker Podcast, and you can find out more about them at runaces.com. Most of what we do here is free. We're a largely volunteer-based organization, so we really depend on support from our sponsors and from our premium members who take part in our training material and study opportunities for only $22 a month. You can sign up for a free account at rec.poker today. All it takes is an email address and a smile. And you know we love supporting food banks around here. So if you want to check out the perks of our premium membership and don't have $22, all you have to do is make a donation of any amount to your local food bank. Send us the receipt, and we'll happily send you your first month of premium for free as a way of saying thanks for helping out a fellow human. Now, before I introduce our guests, I just want to mention again, we're experiencing some changes here at RecPoker. It's pretty exciting what we're doing. We're at a new time for the podcast. If you're joining us live, you already know that. It's 9 o'clock every Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern every Monday night on YouTube. We're also going to be going back to our roots. We used to be a weekly podcast. A few years ago, we started doing 2 a week, one interviewing fantastic folks from the poker world and one just talking about strategy. We're actually going to kind of go back into that model. We're going to be meeting every Monday night at 9. And every other week, we're going to be doing an interview. And then every other week, we're going to be doing a strategy edition. So all our members are going to be able to come and join us in real time and join the strategy version. We're going to be having a lot of fun with our guests. We're going to be playing in the home game, like I say. It's just, part of some other great changes. We're actually looking at making some really big changes to our premium membership and to our learning community as a whole. We'll have more on that in the next couple months, but it's a great time to be a RecPoker premium member. I'll say that now. And if you've been considering jumping into it, now would be a great time to do it, because when we move over to our new platform, which is something that's happening in the next little while, we're going to be including a bunch of fantastic free resources for people who are already a premium member at that time. So don't wait. Dip a toe in, give a donation to your local food bank for any amount, and come join us in our premium membership here anytime. Now, you get to hear my voice a lot because they let me host the show on Mondays, but I'm only one man, and it takes a crew to make the magic happen around here. We call our leadership panel the RECing Crew, and if you want to learn more about me or the rest of the RECing Crew, you can go to rec.poker/crew, or you can listen up. You're going to meet a few of them tonight. We've got a fantastic group of members here. It's not just me, Lorianne Persinger, Joe Coolis, Rob Washam, and of course, invisible producer Rob Gardner. And Rob Gardner has some exciting news to share for the rest of us. There is an exciting new poker docu-series coming out called Chase the Dream. Some of you may have heard about it from its earlier iteration. Don't let me spoil it. Rob Gardner, jump on in and tell RecPoker audience all about this exciting new opportunity.
Yeah, 3 years ago, we did a docu-series with Paul Figlamini and High Hands, Cale Cleaton, kind of talking about our journeys to Las Vegas and the WSOP. It was a fun project that we kind of just did to test the waters, and we wanted to come back and do another rendition of it, and it's taken us 3 years to get there. But we have a new season coming out starting September 25th. It's covering 6 different players from across the country. And these are everyday people who are teachers and retired and video editors and just people who have normal lives chasing poker dreams. And so tonight, for the very, very first time, we're going to show you guys all this trailer right now. And I'm going to hope and pray that this works because we're having some internet issues. So let's see if we can make this happen here.
Woo!
Have 3 things in common. Hope.
There's nowhere to go but up from here.
It makes poker so much more grand and special.
Fear.
I do not know where I will be a month from now.
One deep run is not good enough. I have to prove I can do it again.
heart,
Failure, it's not an option.
I want people to see me and think, oh, there's that guy that loves poker more than anybody else.
these are the stories of everyday people.
I'm a data analyst.
I'm a video editor.
I am happily unemployed right now.
I'm an entrepreneur.
I'm the head of RecPoker.
I'm a teacher.
Chasing extraordinary dreams.
Every poker player dreams that big moment. I won't stop until I get mine.
My dream has evolved into being more of a mentor.
It's 41 people between me and my first bracelet.
This game owes me nothing. I've got to earn it every single time.
I want my name engraved on a list somewhere in history that can never be changed.
As I go into retirement, I want to travel and play poker.
In a game where one hand can change your destiny.
For the WSOP bracelet in the 2025 $500 freeze out. Here comes the flop.
Whoa, September 25th. That's like next week. I got chills. I recognized a lot of people in that. What an exciting setup you've got. Rob Gardner, tell us a little bit about your dream for this fantastic docuseries.
Yeah, I just want to take us back to our roots. You know, poker exploded because a accountant from Tennessee won the main event. And we've gotten away from that. We've gotten into this world where it's about, who can play the highest stakes, who can be the most obnoxious person on camera. And so my hope for this project is that we can put the spotlight back on where it belongs, the people that actually make poker work, the everyday people that come out and play for fun and love the game and do some pretty cool things. So very, very excited about this. Again, a week from this Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, the first episode will be out, and it'll release episodes every Thursday after that.
Amazing. And you can find all that on the RecPoker YouTube channel. So I hope that folks come and continue to get involved and follow along on this amazing journey. I'm so excited to be a part of it myself, and just feeling very grateful for just another wonderful group of poker people that I get to hang out with, because I have the best freaking job in the world. We all know it's true. So speaking of great poker people who are that we're going to try and shine the spotlight on, let's bring in our guests for tonight. This is Ben and Sam Fishman, the Fishman brothers. Hey, fellas, welcome to the RecPoker Podcast.
Thanks so much for having us. We're so excited to be here. Oh, my God.
Thank you. And
amazing, by the way. I just wanted to say that right off the bat. I'm so excited for season 2.
Oh, yes, awesome. Me too. We were a big fan. We reviewed season 1 a couple years ago, actually, on our channel. So it's great to see a continuation of a series that really drew us in to watch some great poker action.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, the poker world is a small world, isn't it? So for folks that don't know, I actually stumbled across Ben and Sam on Reddit, of all places, because they'd said something like, hey, we do this poker podcast. Does anybody want to come on the show and talk about poker? And you guys know me. I'm no stranger to the idea of talking about poker. So I just DM'd. I was like, I love talking about poker. What's on your mind? Like, could we do it? And you guys told me that you came into it cold, completely cold. You didn't know anything about me or RecPoker or who Jim Reid was, but you agreed to have me on your show. We had a freaking phenomenal conversation, a really great time. And I didn't know anything about you guys. And you've now released 100 episodes of your podcast. I mean, that is phenomenal. That is very, very impressive, guys. So yeah, this is just a wonderful thing. And I'm so excited to have you here on the RecPoker Podcast. Okay, so let's just dive into the interview here. I like to set up all our guests with the question. Sorry, we're playing in the home game right now. And Elvita 11, you were sitting out for a second there. I don't know if you're back or not. Legend of Ben, I see you. You're 2 to my left. So
Yes.
look out. I'm going to look out for some 3 bets.
Yeah, I take
Sam-
it serious when I'm podcasting, so I'll sit out when necessary. Unlike you.
I'm in it. Sam, what's your username in the RecPoker home game so we know who to look for?
It is East Coast Sam, so I'm on the button right now. So just
East Coast Sam. All right, fantastic. And we have East Coast Bidder in the home game. That's our friend Ben Enslow from the East Coast. So we got all sorts of kismet and serendipity coming on here. All right. So, gentlemen, again, this is so exciting. Well, yeah, I use the term loosely. Welcome to the RecPoker Podcast. I'll just ask you, now that we're in the official interview portion of the show, how would you define your own roles in the poker world today?
I kind of, because our main focus of our channel really is to review poker media. We began rewatching the ESPN broadcast of the main event. So really, I kind of view this kind of like the poker, like there's a lot of podcasts I've seen that review like reality TV, like Survivor, Big Brother, all that sort of stuff. I kind of feel this as kind of like the poker version of that.
Yeah, I would say that our podcast is really for people who are in the RecPoker community, casual players. We're not really appealing to, GTO wizards who are, going to roll up to high roller events. People who have seen movies like Rounders or Molly's Game, and you're curious about the game and you want to learn a little bit more about the game, maybe read another book, maybe watch another movie before you dive into it. Our podcast is for those people.
Fantastic. Well, I really enjoyed my appearance, and let's just dive right into what we call opening the action. So in our short off-screen session earlier, we agreed that you guys were going to have to choose one of you for opening the action and the other one for stake, study, stack. So who's it going to be for opening the action?
Sam, up to you. I'll let you pick.
I'll do opening the action, sure.
All right.
All right.
So Sam Fishman opening the action. Invisible producer Rob Gardner, throw 2 minutes on the board. Let's see how many questions we can get to. Here we go. Sam, the first one's an easy one. What is your favorite poker hand?
Pocket.
Is poker a gamble or a skill game?
Skill.
What's your biggest poker pet peeve?
Tanking.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Is Ace King a drawing hand?
Yes.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
What's one thing you're afraid of?
Murder.
Tournaments or cash play?
Tournaments.
Should vacations be lazy or busy?
Both.
See, this guy knows how to play the game. Lightning round. I love this. What's one thing you complain about in your life?
Not having enough time to do writing.
Do you prefer to play live or online?
Online.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely yes.
Name one player that you respect, just their name.
Jamie Gold.
Yellow light coming up. Slow down or speed up?
Speed up.
Who is your poker nemesis?
Ben.
Are you pro chop or no chop?
No chop.
What's your favorite childhood family holiday meal?
Chicken Parmesan.
Toilet paper. Does it roll from the front or from the back?
Front.
Slow rolls, yes or no?
Sometimes.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Duck-sized horses.
In the world at the moment, are there more doors or wheels?
Wheels.
What's one thing you can't live without?
My notebooks.
Is a royal flush a straight flush?
Yes.
Name one musical artist you enjoy.
Björk.
What's one thing about you that people would find surprising?
I like to play poker.
All right. Wow. Excellent work. That was very impressive. So Sam really took the lightning round approach to heart, which I appreciate. Very well done. That's we're going to let our proprietary algorithm run in the background for a while. We'll tell you what the score is at the end of the show. But I think this is going to be maybe amongst our all-time best. That was very impressive.
Thank you.
All right. Now, we're going to be taking some questions from our YouTube chat. If you are watching the show live, please type your questions in there. And we're also going to be looking for some suggestions for names to play Stake, Study, Stack with Ben at the end of the show. So get your names in there, get your questions in there, and of course, stick around for our food bank raffle at the end of the show with real prizes, and that's brought to you by RecPoker. So let's find out a little. Yeah, Lorianne, jump in.
With regards to, I always like to know the hand histories, especially since you said pocket nines is your favorite hand. It actually happens to be my least favorite. So I'm curious why it's your favorite hand. I can't beat or win with pocket nines. So it just doesn't matter which side of the aisle I'm on. You said pocket nines. I was like, oh. So is there a story behind that?
There's no particular story behind that. I just kind of like mid-range pairs because then, if I miss the flop, then I can get rid of them easily. But if I hit a 9 on the flop, then I can get value off of it.
So that's a secret, neither of which I do. No, okay.
Yeah, that's your problem.
I'm doing wrong. Okay.
What's this folding you speak of? I don't know.
Yeah, fold's a 4-letter
word. Fold
word.
them in two. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's right. Origami. All right. Well, this is amazing action in the home game club already. I'm getting smashed with the deck. I've gotten ace king for 2 pair and pocket aces already. So something's going right when it's the first time. Give Jim some cards. Keep him coming back. All right. So, gentlemen, I guess my real question is, why start a poker podcast?
It's funny because it kind of began with, I was a big Patriots fan growing up. I kind of was a Tom Brady bandwagoner fan. I'm sorry. But then after they won the big comeback against the Falcons, I was sort of like, we're never going to get to be this good again. And so I dialed back maybe the football fandom and kind of had poker kind of come up and take that place in my time. And there was a great hand in day one of the 2017 main event with Vanessa Selps and Gail Bowman that Sam and I watched, that we recorded ourselves watching that hand happen live. And that was, if you ask me, kind of the origin of the idea of a podcast. A couple of years later, Sam would be done with college and the pandemic hit, so we had free time. So that was, I guess, kind of the building blocks to what got us to making the podcast.
Yeah, and building off of that, Ben and I both grew up during the golden age of reality television when, you turned on any random channel, there'd be a reality TV show. And that was also when poker television really started taking off. So Ben and I have been watching poker media for really 20 years now. So it made a lot of sense for us to just start a poker media podcast with the intention, again, as I mentioned at the start of the show, really having a show for recreational players, people who aren't GTO wizards, who are just sort of interested in poker media and want some more suggestions for it. So we started out with the 03 main event, went through all the main events, and then started looking at movies and books and television shows as well.
Very cool. And it fits a great need, I think, in the industry. So kudos to you guys for recognizing that. Ben, I want to give you a heads up. The player to your right, Fergie56, that's Kim Kilroy, one of our RecPoker Crew members and coaches. Look out, dangerous player. Just let me know.
Okay, got it.
At least she's on your right. But although the player to your left, Bone Crusher 14, that's Marcel Dusick, who's a Canadian killer, and he's like on top of the leaderboards around here all the time. So you picked a tough seat, my friend. You picked
He's only pointing out the Canadian players. Just saying.
Lorianne, jump in.
Yes. Really quick question, since you said you've done all the main events. Do you have a particular main event? And you can each answer your question individually. That is your particular favorite, and if so, why?
So we actually did a sort of like a tiers ranking episode of every main event after we finished 2020, and we both were pretty much in consensus that 2005 was peak main event television. That was the year with Mike Mattisau, Greg Rammer's back-to-back deep run, Sean Shay Khan fighting with Mattisau. Just a lot of great drama. Phil Ivey making it to the final 3 tables. I mean, just a lot of great poker and some great Lon and Norm commentary in the booth. That was my favorite. I think Sam was in the same ballpark there too.
Yeah, 05 as well for what you just said. I mean, it also felt like ESPN was really paying a lot of attention to making poker entertaining. They'd have segments like The Nuts. They'd have segments where it's just the players talking about their personal lives and why they got into the game and all of that. And,
Rochambeau.
Yeah, I mean, it was intended for a general audience. It wasn't just intended for poker fans. It was, somebody flipping through SPN would see this and go, oh my God, I want to play poker now. It was such an exciting time, and they really captured that very well.
Are you a fan of the November 9? Do you kind of yay, nay? How do you feel about that?
I mean, when the first 8 years of the number 9, it just meant that we saw the episode, at the end of the season. It would just be filmed as if it was another episode, so it didn't matter. And then once 2017 hit, that was when they were airing every day of the main event on ESPN concurrently with the action, and so that made it feel a bit more. I guess you're more engaged watching when it was happening right in front of you. Whereas when you're watching the edited version, it doesn't quite feel like that it really matters to you as a viewer watching it from home. So I was fine either way. You watch whatever's in front of you.
Yeah. So what made you? I mean, how do you respond to people who might put poker media in the same group as watching golf? It's when I watch poker media on TV, my wife is like, "You're watching this," and is amazed. So how do you explain that to family members and other people to say what you're doing?
I mean, with poker, it's a game that literally anybody can play. You could buy a deck of cards for $1, grab a couple friends, sit around the table and play, and you're in the same arena. Whereas with golf, I mean, you can play golf with your friends, but you might shoot whatever a bad score in golf is. I'm not a golf expert here. I don't know, but I mean, it's just that you could sit down and play with anybody online, in person. I feel like it's just a bit it's just more personal that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of inherent tension in poker. A player goes all in and the other player's tanking for a couple minutes. I know I mentioned earlier that my pet peeve was tanking, but 2-minute tanks can be interesting to watch and creates natural tension. And as I mentioned, in the golden era of poker television, they really did a great job explaining things for a general audience. Having these quirky segments to really get people excited. When poker media is like that, I think it's really, really fun to watch. The 03, 04, 05, and to a slightly lesser extent, 06 main events are just really entertaining for, I think, anybody to watch. And I've shown people clips of those main events, and they're like, oh my God, I want to play poker now. So, I mean, if poker media can return to that, I think we can get more of a general audience in there.
But in some degree, when you watch a lot of poker shows, the difficulty is you end up with all the all-in pots being the most exciting thing ever, which, as you become more sophisticated in the game, becomes less interesting, right? Ace kings, against each other, and if you look at like YouTube videos, it's about how big the pots are, right? And it's like it's $1 million pot, which is not any different from $100 pot, just depends upon how much money you play for. So how do you address that in terms of your podcast with differing audiences that might be listening to figure out, well, what is this media like?
Yeah, because really, the main event on ESPN underwent a transformation year to year, and this also applies to other shows like the WPT, where depending on if it's an hour-long episode, is it an hour-and-a-half-long episode? Is it if it's during the golden poker era of television? Is it during the later eras? Because they've really changed up exactly how many hands per episode were shown. If it's a final, like the original run of episodes was just those preliminary events before the main event of just the final table, and so. With that, you're talking about probably like 15 hands, maybe if you're lucky, in a single episode, and probably half of those are bust outs, and probably half of the other ones are all ins. And so that only leaves maybe a couple of hands where it's just like, a value bet called, a bluff gets through. And so, that's the thing about poker is that any final table, you can have the same 6 players at the table and have a vastly different result if you, run through the same players. So there's a lot of variability. So you're going to have some duds in there. You're going to have some really memorable final tables. This year was very good. For example, the last couple of years, maybe less so. So it's a lot of, it's pretty random.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's Ben and I duking it out mid-answer. Ben Fishman. No, not bad. Not bad, man.
Thank you.
And also picking up quite a few chips here, although Rob Washam is, I believe, the current chip leader in the Poker Stars.
Yeah, I've got a ways to go.
John Somsky was here. Yeah, you're right on his heels. John Somsky had to miss the episode tonight. John, we're rooting for you. But I wish he could see how much fun we're having with his home game club. When John signed up to start it, it was 1 game a month, and now we do 10 or 11 every week. And God bless the guy. I'll just give the plug. If you see John Somsky in the wild, buy that man a beer. Everyone, if you know, you know. All right. Now you guys have done 100 freaking episodes now. What were your goals when you started? Did you think
102? Yep.
Yeah. But like, what did you have a plan to get this far? Has it just kind of happened? What's it like to do 100 episodes of a poker podcast?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, we
got through those original, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, you guys trade off. That's all right.
Okay.
Go ahead,
well,
Tom.
the actual moment was Ben just turned to me on the couch one day and was like, "Hey, do you want to start a poker podcast?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." I'd done public speaking in high school, so I love public speaking, giving speeches. So it was like a no-brainer for me. And yeah, we went through all of the main events, and then we're like, all right, what do we do next? And it's like, all right, well, we'll do rounders and we'll do Molly's game and things like that. And then Ben just started messaging people on Facebook like, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? And our first interview was with Michael Novinsky, who made 2 deep runs in the main event, one in 2016, one in 2019. Yeah. We had an absolutely outstanding conversation with him, and it was a blast talking to him. And then from there, I mean, we just interviewed Greg Raymer. We interviewed John Hesp. We interviewed Philip Hilm. We've interviewed a number of other players. I mean, it's just really been incredible. I mean, we really just take it episode by episode. Ben comes up with some ideas. I come up with some ideas. No real game plan. We're not trying to conquer the world here. RecPoker, you can conquer the world. All part in your rise. But, I like our niche within the poker world that, again, we're 2 sort of amateurs with a little bit of experience, a lot of experience watching poker media, just offering our thoughts on media. And I want to keep things humble moving forward.
Well, that's wonderful. And you guys do a great job with it. I'm going to ask about working with your brother, but I'll wait till Ben reconnects because I think we got him back now. So what's it like working with your brother on a project like this? And what's wrong with the third brother that he didn't get involved? Because this seems like just like way too much fun for that to be like a good decision on his part. Give me the story there.
I lost connection, by the way, so I missed some of Sam's answer. But if you were asking me that question just now, so our brother, my twin brother Nick, he had his own podcast under the Rob Has a Podcast network, where he reviewed different reality shows that lasted 1 or 2 seasons. It was called the Rise and Fall podcast, and so it's kind of funny how we're identical twins. And we have some very big similarities, but one is that we each have, a television-themed podcast just for an interest that only one of us has. So I used to watch Survivor. Nick used to watch poker. I stopped watching Survivor. He stopped watching poker. So it's kind of our parallel track of one of our pastimes.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, Ben and I, we have a good relationship with each other. We live together right now. We've lived together for a couple of years now. Everybody always asks us in our family, like, do you guys butt heads? Like, what's your relationship like? We're both totally cool. I really enjoy working with Ben on the podcast. So, there's no animosity. As I mentioned in my previous answer, I come up with some ideas. Ben comes up with some. We always talk to each other, like, what do you want to do for the intro for this? What do you want to do after we discuss the book? Do you want to discuss this idea in the poker world? I think we have a good back and forth with each other.
Yeah, cosign. I would agree. So I just want to remind our YouTube audience, get your questions in for Ben and Sam. We're going to be looking for suggestions for stake, study, stack names, so get in there for that. And of course, we're going to do our raffle at the end of the show to benefit a local food bank. We also want to let you know, if you want to support what we're doing, you can make donations directly to RecPoker right through the YouTube chat by leaving a super sticky or a super comment or a super something. And we share a portion of all those donations with a local food bank. This month, all of our YouTube donations will go to the Fair Share Food Bank in Cobourg, Ontario. And if folks want to find some other ways to support what we're doing, you can go to rec.poker/support, and you can find a bunch of ways to help us out, either by buying us a cup of coffee or joining our Patreon channel to get audio versions of a lot of our training materials. Of course, what we prefer is you give our premium membership a try. Like I say, it's only $22 a month. You can always get your first month for only $5 by using the code podcast at checkout. And of course, we also always prefer that you go support a local food bank, and we will send you your first month for free if you do so. What have you guys learned about poker over 100 episodes of the show?
Well, I think after we'd finished with sort of poker main event episodes, we pivoted really to poker documentaries for a little bit. And so we have probably watched at least 20 plus documentaries about poker. And so some of these are about players in particular. Like there was a great documentary on Chris Moneymaker. I learned some details that we just wouldn't have known from watching him on ESPN, for example. And that was fun. And so, the history of poker, there was the Ultimate Bet scandal I'd never heard of before. That we had a documentary to watch about that. So there's a lot of sub stories in the poker world that we've had the privilege to watch and learn about and discuss with each other. And so I would say just the unexpected stories of somebody that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I mean, my impression about poker starting the podcast was, okay, every single year at the main event final table, it's 9 guys I've never heard of, and then I never hear from ever again. And it's true that a lot of main event final tablists, that's their highlight of their career. But the thing I discovered watching the main event is people make deep runs constantly. They make 2, 3, 4 over the course of their careers. So it's just appreciation for how much skill is involved in poker. That's why I said earlier, I think poker is a game of skill and not gambling. Obviously, there's luck involved. But people who make deep runs tend to be very talented people who make several runs over the course of their career. I mean, as we saw, Ms. Rocky has, made so many deep runs. Kenny Haller has made a number of deep runs in the main event this year, as we saw. There's a lot of really talented players out there who do make a lot of deep runs all the time.
Yeah, we do talk about this on the show that, in the short term, skill does matter a lot because from a hand-to-hand basis, whether your draw comes in is very relevant to your success as a player. But in the long run, it really does, skill wins over luck, and that's one of the things that we love about this game. I think that's true to say. So you guys are pretty plugged into the poker world, and I love that you have this area of focus when it comes to poker stories, poker media, that kind of stuff. As someone who's studied the history of the game a little bit, what are your thoughts on where the online game is going? We hear a lot of concern about online cheating, real-time assistance, collusion, bots, that kind of stuff. As recreational players yourselves, what are your thoughts on the future of online poker?
Having only ever really played in the East Coast where it's really just kind of very restricted, I can't speak to the economy of the online world, but I can speak to I've seen the evolution of Poker Stars. That's been my preferred way of playing online, and you can see that they are always adjusting. They're throwing in new gimmicks and getting rid of certain games to put new games in. And I find that I don't really care for the gimmicks. I just kind of care for the almost kind of pure poker, not like these weird off games that are gone in a month because no one plays them. So I find that I don't know if that speaks to desperation or just weird avenues of creativity, but I just kind of find it kind of strange, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think solvers are bad for the game. I think AI is bad for the game. It's bad for really everything. I'm a freelance writer for a living. AI is very, very bad for freelance writers. And, the thing is that AI is only going to get better as time goes on, right? You're talking about these problems here in 2025. Even by 2030, I mean, it's going to be a worse problem for the game. I just don't quite know what the solutions are at this point. I mean, do you just ban AI, period? You ban solvers, period? Well, you can use solvers as a training tool, right? I mean, I think it's okay for certain players to use. I'm just not sure. I mean, obviously things like, having your laptop at the final table of something, like you wouldn't allow that, of course. But, in terms of online play, I'm just not sure what to do, honestly.
Yeah, same. Well said. I see Ripley's making an appearance over in Lorianne's panel. Hello, Ripley. Welcome back to the show.
For some reason, she's all.
I think it's Sam. Sam's bringing her. He's bringing that cat energy.
So Sam, what is your hair care routine? I'm inquiring minds want to know.
2 things: water and apathy.
Yes. Fantastic. Yet another reason, if you're listening at home, this is another reason why you got to come join the show every Monday night on YouTube at 9. Get in the home game too. The games are free. The chips are play money, but the prizes are real. So get in there. Be like our guest tonight. This is a lot more complicated. Playing in the home game while doing an interview, I feel very scattered. I'm a
little bit. Yeah, my answers are a little wandery when I'm playing it. I agree.
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little.
I did see
Yeah.
I did see earlier in the chat while during the intro there was Hubby 40 had asked, they're not twins, are they? Asking for a friend. It's funny. I'm actually a twin, just not with Sam. It's kind of a funny coincidence of a question there by him.
Wait, you and Sam aren't identical twins?
No,
really?
But fraternal twins could have been a possibility. But now we're. But I am a twin though. It's kind of funny that they asked that.
Yeah,
I absorbed my twin, so he's not.
Whoa!
Coming out of your shoulder is what it looks
like. Also, I want to give an apology to MSPT trophy winner Philip Razor, who apparently I missed a message from earlier. Apologies, Phil. You know I would never ghost you like that. But reach out again. I don't know. If I would not. If it's on WhatsApp, I have my notifications for WhatsApp turned off because it was going crazy over there. So maybe that's
your story.
But
don't
even start. Do not. That's not true at all. Sure.
Send you an email, never comes back.
Well, no, emails are different. I'm just perpetually inundated by emails, but I usually do get back to the messages. So Phil, apologies for that. All right, let's get this show back on the road. Leaving the online realm, let's get back into live play here. I want to, you guys, you're very, like I say, you followed the main event in particular. You saw all the antics this year with William Kassouf. We'll just put it out there. What are your thoughts on that kind of behavior under the spotlight on poker's highest stage?
It's funny. I'm a very introverted person. Maybe at the table I'm a bit more extroverted than I am normally. So I'd like to think that if I'm in that situation, I'm maybe like mock engaging somebody who's being very anticky at the table. However, I again with Kassouf in particular, we had a chance to really get a raw, unedited look at him on this year's coverage compared to the edited version of ESPN years ago. So I gotta say, as long as it's not disrupting the game, I have no problem. It's a part of the gameplay to the social game is a part of poker. But when it's making hands take much too long, when the stats being berated, when things are happening that are over the line, I draw the line there.
Yeah, I mean, it was really crazy seeing Kassouf on day 7 in particular. I mean, he seemed genuinely angry. I mean, when he was getting up out of his seat and just walking around the table glaring at everybody, I mean, that was really surreal. Cabral, I mean, it's sort of the same thing, but he's not nearly as disruptive, I think. He's not tanking as much as Will Kassouf is. I mean, saying, not like that 37 times in a row is, gets a little old after a while. But, we talked earlier about, getting poker media to be more entertaining and appealing to a general audience. You need to have one of these personalities in the game, I think, to appeal to a general audience and to build narratives within the show, right? He's the villain. You can easily make a little villain edit for him. We saw that in the 2016 main event coverage. So I think it's nice to have that. But then you also look at somebody like, Michael Mizrachi, who's also very animated, and he's a lot more amicable. He's talking to his rail. He seems to be trying to get everybody to have a good time and have the people in the room, excited and ready to see these hands. Stuff like that, I think, is better for the game than Kassouf or Cabral.
Yeah, I think so too. We're just getting some feedback. Invisible producer Rob Gardner, I don't know if we could try isolating some mics here with the mute, just in case. Oh, that's so much better already. Okay, whoever that was. Sorry.
Just blame me for it.
Yeah. Oh, we were gonna blame you anyway, but I wanted to production value. Yeah. And so, why do you think it's so difficult to? So you've talked about poker villains, and I actually just wrote a piece about this for Poker.org as well, because I think it's easy to find poker villains, because poker players are humans, and humans, let's face it, are mostly trash people. It's not just poker players. It's just like, humans are. I prefer dogs personally. That's just me. I think there's actually poker has a disproportionately strong number of great people in the poker community. But of course, there are still some bad apples. And the way that media is incentivized these days is to get clicks through conflict and tension and, you know, the Kassoufs and the antics and that kind of stuff. Why do you think it's so hard to find champions, heroes, and put them under the lights and put them under the spotlight instead of William Kassoufs and Martin Cabrels and villains like that? Why is that?
Well, you know, sometimes it comes down to they have 4 TV tables and there's a villain on one of those tables, and you know they're going to be on the cameras regardless. Sometimes, other times it's, you know, we don't know who's behind the table selection for the TV tables. You know, sometimes they want, you know, Jeff Platt is in the Amazon room and he's watching a table where a guy is, you know, being a villain type, you know, behavior, and they just said, okay, we're going to have them tomorrow on the main table, and it's just you know the nature of entertainment production on Poker Go, for example. And with the heroes, sometimes, you know, these poker heroes, they're the silent guys or just play their game. You know, I think of you know, like guys like Joe Cata, you know, a main event champion who, you know, was, you know, a very nice guy at the table, you know, played his game, you know, took it down, but he wasn't, you know, he was just composed at the table. And sometimes the poker heroes are, you know, those quiet guys that take it all down by the end.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people at the table just don't talk at all. You know, they have their headphones on, they have their hoodies on, which is totally fine. I mean, if you're playing that game, you don't want to give anything away by saying something or looking at another player. I totally understand that, but it makes the game harder to watch. And then these guys come along and they're talking and they have some personality. So naturally, they're going to get a lot of attention because there's 8 other guys at the table not saying something. Here's the one guy who is. Of course, you're going to give him attention. And obviously, heroes and villains are subjective, right? I mean, Daniel Negreanu, you know, seems like a heroic guy based on his personality, but a lot of people in the poker world don't necessarily like him. Versus, you know, somebody like Mike Matisow, again, sort of seems like a villain, but it has, you know, some nuances to his character as well. I mean, it can be hard to tell who's a hero, who's a villain or not. You know, we all are complicated people. We all have positive and negative values within them. So it's hard to have that conversation without knowing everything about somebody.
So good answers, Joe Koulis. Do you want to jump in there with something?
Yeah, well, it's interesting, particularly for you, Ben, that your brother likes reality shows, and you comment on aspects of poker which are kind of reality show based, right? I mean, there's really no villains in poker. Everybody's a villain. We call everybody a villain when we talk about them. And we talk about, you know, the only hero is me, because whenever I'm playing and talking about my game, I'm the hero, right? But so it's like these contrived motions that have to become the stories if you're going to watch it on media, in comparison to the game when it's a predatory game. You're supposed to be a villain and take people's money. Have you ever considered it in that lens in terms of comparing the two between the reality show and poker media?
Yeah, I mean, there was even the show Game of Gold, which kind of felt like as close to a Survivor, you know, Big Brother, Amazing Race, you know, type kind of poker show with that sort of, you know, makeup on there. And I watched these reality shows as well for many years. I watched the first, you know, almost 20 seasons of Survivor before I finally tired of the show. I mean, I watched, you know, 1 or 2 seasons there. I always enjoy comparing the relative entertainment value of television to each other. We know we review movies and films in clusters and we compare them. Oh, I like this one more than this one because this was more entertaining. I laughed more at this one. I thought this one was more exciting. You know, I find that with a question like this, I find that, you know, poker is meant to be entertainment when you're watching it on TV versus, you know, when you're at the table. And, you know, I find that there are, you know, again, I find there are merits to these reality shows. Like Survivor is still airing strong now. I think they're hitting, you know, what is it, like 50 seasons, you know, coming up very soon, something ridiculous. And, you know, it has its fan base and poker has its fan base. And I think that there is definitely some overlap. And we see poker players on Survivor, on Amazing Race all the time. Maria Ho, JRB. I think there's a couple others I'm blanking on now, but Vanessa Rousseau, you know, it's kind of funny that, and Negreanu almost played on Survivor once, actually, but he would have missed the main events. That's why he didn't play it. That would have been fun to watch him go with that. So, again, it's just kind of funny that we have this dichotomy of what my brother watches, what I watch, but there is always some overlap. And we occasionally overlap our interests in just for the sake of the other one.
And Ben, you did audition for Survivor, right?
That's true. I did technically do that once. Yes, we did try that once.
Cool. Fun. Lorianne, jump in.
I had a quick question. Thanks, Jim. With regards, because I've been listening, it seems like, and maybe I'm misinterpreting it, that you guys seem to prefer the old manufactured edited versions as opposed to watching a long drawn out, like, I guess in short, I'm asking, do you ever watch live poker tournament live streams at all, or do you just prefer watching, because like you said, a lot of it can be very dull and boring to watch, as opposed to, as we all know, once the same thing shows up on CBS, they just show the most exciting and the best hands, whereas you can watch a live stream that takes 7 or 8 hours, and it can be, unless you're like me who really enjoys watching poker, it can be most of the times very boring. Do you actually watch live stream?
No, we watch there are the live streams of the World Series of Poker events. I watch those pretty regularly when time permits. For other events on Poker Go, for example, if there's a player I particularly care about, a player that I've followed before, that I've met before, that I've played with before, then yeah, I'll watch them. If it's just 9 strangers for like the Poker Go Masters or something, then I probably pass on that. But I watch, the live coverage of the main event. I watch live cash game streams, Hustler, for example. I watch that. I do mix I do watch a little bit, but I just, when we're comparing year to year to year of the main events, we always we break them into chunks: the old era, the new era, the modern era, the Poker Go era, and there's merits to each year. It's just that again, it's just my like top 5 main events. I would say probably 4 of them are from the 2000s, but there's still merit to the other ones.
Yeah, same
Are
here.
you looking
I do
forward
like
to?
watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I do like watching live streams every now and again. I don't watch as much poker media as Ben does, but I prefer more edited versions.
Mm-hmm.
I do find it fascinating to see how the live footage is edited into the edited version and what they do in terms of telling stories and changing hands around. It is kind of curious to see that. But I do prefer the edited versions and the 2000s era better than the more recent stuff, just again for that idea of building narratives and building characters within the coverage.
So you like to basically get to the nitty gritty. Is it safe to say you guys will be watching the when they return the Heads Up Championship, National Heads Up Championship, which has already been, it's over and done with, but won't be airing, I guess, until sometime next year. Is it safe to assume you'll be watching that? Yeah, we reviewed the 2013 iteration, ironically while playing Heads Up Poker with each other. And we thought that was an enjoyable experience. We watched the entire season for that, and and we liked that it kind of had a sense of continuity with the previous seasons. How they were talking about, their record is 7-10 in the last 4 years of the competition, and I thought that was definitely merit there. I know that it's a Peacock exclusive, so I don't have Peacock, so I'll have to wait till it drops later on. But we do intend to watch it and potentially review it. I think it's fun to watch celebrities and poker pros square off because it's always fun to see the pros take a hit here and there from a non-professional.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give our folks in the YouTube chat, you got one more chance to get some questions in for Ben and Sam. We're going to get to the end of the interview shortly, but this is your chance. And of course, please get those stake study stack recommendations in. We're going to, I guess it's also time to start typing the words food bank. If you're here in our YouTube chat, just type the words food bank and you will be entered into our raffle at the end of the show. The reason why we do this every week is just to help support the fight against food insecurity. It's a difficult time in the world for a lot of people. And there's some people, I guarantee you, there are some people in your own neighborhood, in your own community, who you might be surprised to learn could use a little help putting some food on the table for themselves, their families, their loved ones. And it's a great way to make the world a better place. To get a big ROI on your donation is to help out a small local food bank that's in your own backyard, helping the people in your own community. So I guarantee you, if you pull out your smartphone right now and just Google food banks near me, you'll find an organization that can benefit from a few dollars out of your wallet, a few volunteer hours out of your time, out of your week, or some non-perishable food items from your pantry. And I encourage you, please just do go out and help your local food bank. And what we're going to do here on the show is we just use this as an excuse for me to say food bank about 40 times. And we're going to give away a fantastic prize at the end for one of our live viewing audience members. Rob Washam, we love to refer to you as RecPoker Santa Claus. And it's not because of that bushy white beard. It's because you just give stuff away. You pull out your big sack of toys and give out prizes and gifts every week on the show. So what do you got in the big old bag of tricks today, Rob?
Well, in the Santa sack today, we have we're giving away a free month of Jaka coaching.
Ooh.
Last week, the Learning with Partners video from Jaka Coaching continues the theme for September, which was river play. And they had Alex Fitzgerald discussing finding thin river value bets. So if you like this kind of content and you want to see more, go to rec.poker/partners to learn more about all of our learning partners.
And just type the words Food Bank into the YouTube chat, and you will have a chance to win a whole free month over there at Jaka Coaching, one of our fantastic learning programs. Thank you, Rob Claus. Now, we've got a couple of last questions here for the Fishman brothers. I mean, two out of three of them anyway. I'd say the best two of the.
I would say that too.
Just me personally speaking, my two favorites. I'll say that. So what's it's wonderful that you have this connection to poker media. What are your own favorite poker books? And that can be either fiction or training. Favorite poker books. Each of you give me one.
Yeah, we actually did a poker book club episode last week, and it was a book called All In by Jerry Yang that and has kind of two halves to it. Half of it is his poker origin, his run in the main event in 07, winning the whole thing, and then also his familial background, escaping his home country and coming to America. And it's not quite a training book. You won't learn too much about poker from reading it, but as far as playing it, but as far as a composed literary experience, I was really impressed by that book, and I would give the nod to that one. And my other one would be, it was Harrington on Hold'em, Volume 1, a very comprehensive book I found on discount at our local used bookstore that was very nice, and it just was a very educational, and I thought it was relevant even 20 years after its publication originally.
You took both of my answers back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I really liked All In. Jerry Yang is a very interesting figure because he's usually considered to be the worst main event champion of all time. So it's interesting to just kind of see his perspective and his background on the game. And then Harrington on Hold'em is just so comprehensive. It goes through pre-flop play, post-flop, post-river, just post-turn, just incredible book. And a lot of insight, a lot of hands that really give you a sense of what to do on each street, how much to bet. And it's not like a textbook. It really feels like he's sitting there at the table talking to you through these hands, telling you strategies. It's very nice to read.
That's wonderful. It was a good one of my. I really enjoyed. We had Jerry on the show several years ago, more as a restaurateur than as a pro poker player at that point. But I really enjoyed that interview. He was a very, very cool guy. Joe.
Hey Sam, so you're a freelance writer. So what kind of works do you write? Are you fiction, nonfiction? What do you do?
So I do what's called search engine optimization, or SEO. I write content that's designed to register with search engine algorithms so that your content ranks first. I work for a company called Mover Search Marketing. So I work with about 20, 25 different moving companies across the United States writing content so that their websites will rank first, mainly blog posts. So usually guides on places that you might be moving to at these companies, but also descriptions of their services and what they're like as a company.
So I had a friend who was a visual artist, and then she ended up doing catalogs and designing catalog pictures and things like that. Was writing SEO what you were looking to do when you went into writing, or is that just the bill payer and there's something else that you would rather do?
As I mentioned earlier, I mean, I've sort of alluded to by saying my notebooks is what I can't live without. I'm a creative writer as well. Mm-hmm. I have 15 publications in poetry and prose, small stuff, nothing substantial. I'm a volunteer at Wild Roof Journal, which is a literary magazine that's focused on the natural world. I've been there for over a year now. I went to Oberlin College to study creative writing. I got rejected from the writing program, so I became an English major instead. And yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to be creative writing for a living some point. But I've been SEO writing for 5 years now, and I really enjoy it. So for the near future, until I finally get that book contract, I'll be an SEO writer.
So do you want to be the poet laureate for some president in the future? Not the current one.
Maybe in the future.
Great.
Yeah, that's very cool. So SEO writing. So I guess my first question is, Sam, do you do any pro bono work for up and coming poker poker organizations? Oh God, I say it out loud because we need all the help we can get. And we're like, it's so funny. Like we're a group of very enthusiastic poker lovers, but like we just don't have we don't have professional people to do all the stuff that is required to really like make it in the world. You know what I mean? When it comes to like marketing and advertising and SEO and that kind of stuff. Do you have any like tips for optimizing your? I don't even know what the S and the E stand for. I think the O is optimization. But how can we do that better?
Yeah, well, first off, if you would like to email me after the show, I'd be happy to write anything that you guys want. Yeah, I mean, search engine optimization is a series of different techniques. The first thing you want to do is you want to target certain keywords. So, if you're writing a book on Texas Hold'em or a guide on Texas Hold'em, you're going to want to have your target keyword be Texas Hold'em. But something else to keep in mind is something called LSIs, which are related keywords that algorithms are looking for to show that you know what you're talking about, right? So for Texas Hold'em, this would be playing cards, poker chips, flop, turns, so on and so forth. So you want to work that into your content naturally as you go along, and then make it readable. Provide your own perspective on poker and Texas Hold'em. Don't have it be like a textbook. Throw in some images in there. Throw in some links to sources you like. Make it be something that people want to read casually and will retain on the page. And then we'll go and click on RecPoker and sign up, which you should all do if you haven't done so already. And that'll encourage people to sign up for your website. But do email me after the show and we'll talk.
Be careful, man. He's from Canada. They don't believe in money. So they'll just take.
Yeah, that's right. No, we'll definitely be in touch. I've just loved getting to know you guys over this hour and the time that we spent together on your show. I feel like we bring a lot of the same energy. We want to help a lot of the same people. So I feel like we should be teaming up in some ways. So I'm looking forward to that. I wish Chris Jones was here for the show because Chris is also he's a professional in the world of literature with The Loft, which I don't know if you're familiar with, but is a Minnesota organization to help writers and aspiring writers to work on their craft and find publishing deals and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think we'll probably connect you guys at some point in the future. That's very exciting. We have a question from Philip Razor. That's MSPT trophy winner, Philip Razor, by the way. He says, Oberlin College, does he know Connor Goldsmith? He's a former literary agent and an Oberlin grad. Small shot in the dark.
I do not know Connor Goldsmith, but if you would like to connect me with Connor, and if Connor is interested in experimental poetry and horror prose, then, I'm your guy.
There you go. All right, Phil,
we need another hour. Horror prose? Yeah. What is horror prose?
I was going to say, please expand on that. Yes.
Lovecraft. Come on.
Horror stories and things like that. Ghost stories.
Cool. All right. Well, this is only episode 727, so we have plenty of opportunities to have you guys back and get into some of this.
Do not go to Jim's basement for inspiration, please. For God's sake, do not go to his basement for inspiration. I'm just
horror prose. Horror prose. I love it. All right, we've got. Let me see. What was my other question here? Yeah. So what does success look like now? I mean, for a lot of podcast organizers and podcast hosts, most of them don't get past 3 episodes. So you guys have made it to 100. It's true. Statistically, it's true. To get to double digits alone puts you in rare company. Triple digits, I mean, again, sincere congratulations for the amount of work and time that you put into that. How do you judge success for the two fish at the table?
I mean, we just began it for fun. It was just a way for us to spend time together and check out some cool stuff and reflect on old poker action. We're not doing it for views, for clout, for fame. It's more just kind of the fun things that have happened along the way. Stumbling upon Jim Reid of RecPoker, appearing in Mike Manifest's documentary for 2 seconds while I was in Las Vegas. Appearing in the background of the Rigby Helmuth bust-out hand in the main event 2 years ago in the bleachers. Just these fun coincidental things that happen for just some average schmuck like me. I mean, that's for me a success. The spontaneity and just those amazing moments. Meeting Mike Nowitzki in Vegas for lunch to talk about poker. Just these little individual moments. That for me means that the podcast has done its job.
Just having fun, really, for me. And interviewing cool people would be awesome. It would be really cool to interview, Jamie Gold. It'd be cool to interview Daniel Negreanu. It would be cool to interview these people. But just having fun and having good conversations with Ben is all that, really matters to me.
That's nice. Good for you. Very wholesome. We got a question here for a suggestion from Asinine Bovine. Sergio says you guys should interview Jay Pars. That's John Party, who's a Canadian poker player and streamer, but he was also a Big Brother winner. We've actually had him on the show here as well. Very, very good guy. Very friendly, very accommodating. John, I can put you in touch with him. Sam, when we're emailing later, we'll exchange some contact information and get that, because he was a great interview. You'd really enjoy it. Sorry, Joe, what were you saying there?
I just wondered, they mentioned a bunch of claims to fame, but they didn't mention being on the RecPoker podcast in that rating. So we just want to know. We just want to know where that is in the pantheon.
I mentioned meeting Jim and being a part of RecPoker. So I think I covered it. All right.
I mean, all right. Lorianne. Right. We have Lorianne Persinger in here, and you're talking about Jim, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's right. You guys got a lot to learn. Learn.
Joe. I do have a quick question.
Yeah,
you've mentioned
please.
Jamie Gold several times throughout, including during closing the action. Favorite? Why is he because you answered favorite player, and you keep alluding to that area. Is there a particular story behind it, or a reason why that you care to share?
He's just really entertaining to me. I was at a debate tournament in high school, senior year of high school, and I was watching a compilation of his hands. And within 30 minutes, I had like a whole crowd gathered around the table just watching his hands because they couldn't believe what was going on. But I've always just found him really entertaining, really just crazy. I mean, really just the craziest tournament run of all time, all the hands that he hit, all the table talk that he was doing. And as I said, I mean, that was at the golden era of poker television where they were really trying to tell stories. So, I just think he brought some fun to the game. I'm not saying he's a great player by any means. I'm just saying, I just thought he was really funny to watch.
Gotcha.
Very cool.
And I saw earlier there was a question in the chat like half an hour ago about who was the better player between me and Sam. That's up for debate. I mean, me and Sam participate in the Mind Sport Olympiad, which is a annual global game organization. Poker is one of the subcategories. Sam has the lead in medals in that, so I think that quantitatively he's better, but I feel like maybe I can bluff him pretty often, so maybe qualitatively I'm better. So I think it balances out.
Nice. We got another suggestion. Kevin Martin, another Canadian reality show guy who likes to enjoy some poker as well. The YouTube chat's really enjoying this experience, and no surprise. I hope that more folks, if you're listening at home, come join the show in real time and win some prizes and get involved. And you get to see Sam's hair. Those are some pretty compelling reasons. I want to do a quick update. So East Coast Sam is still in 6th place. Legend of Ben 1 is in 9th. Rapman 50 has given up the chip lead, but he's still in 4th place. And even your old pal Bluffsterini is still sticking around in here at 12th. So we've got 25 players left out of, I think, 47 in the home game tonight. So not bad. I'm just gonna show
you. VD 11 bravely jammed into Eagle, which is dangerous.
Boy, you don't want to do that.
He got his small pocket pair to go past. So.
I was going to tell Sam it's not often I can say I have the second best hair on the episode.
You're not using enough apathy. You're not using enough apathy. What that means. That's funny. All right, hold on. I can't. I'd love to share what I'm doing in the home game right now, but This other player might be listening live, so just gonna slide under the radar here. All right, I flipped it straight. All right, we get to win another hand. Fantastic. Okay, good Lord, what are we doing? All right, I think that's the end of our questions. I'm having such a good time. I don't want to let you go, but we are coming to the end of the show. I think we're going to close this out with Stake, Study, Stack. So, Ben, this is your moment, my friend. So Stake, Study, Stack. This is a game not dissimilar from a game you may have played in your youth called Kiss, Marry, Kill. We're going to give you 3 names. You have to choose one to stake in a poker tournament or cash game. One that you'd study with to help you improve as a player. And one that you'd like nothing more than to just stack them at the tables and steal all their chips the next time you see them. Okay?
Okay.
We're going to do it. Here it comes. Stake, Study, Stack with Ben Fishman. Your 3 names are Chris Ferguson, William Kassouf, Sam Fishman. Stake, Study, or Stack? Who's it going to be?
All right. Stack Kassouf. Study Ferguson. Is 20 years ago Ferguson, and then I'll stake Sam. Support my Sam. That way I can really feel the emotion with him when he goes deep.
Wonderful. Nice answer. I didn't want to make it too easy there. I couldn't tell if Sam was going to be a stake or a stack or how that was going to go. Well done. Well done. You found your way.
You have to understand his original idea for the game was the most dangerous game, and that would have been rather tragic.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. We may event now that we're poker after dark. Now that we're RecPoker After Dark officially here at 9 o'clock, we could do all sorts of crazy racy stuff. We could hunt the greatest game of all. Man, let's just see. Let's see what the future has in store. All right. This was a lot of fun. We're going to let you guys go. I am so glad that you were able to join us for the podcast tonight. Where can folks find more about Two Fish at the Table? And if our audience could do something to say thanks for coming on the show, what would that be for you guys?
I mean, you can find us on our YouTube channel, the Two Fish at the Table podcast. I have a occasionally active Twitter and Facebook group for the podcast, but really YouTube is the best place to interact with us. As far as thanking us, I think just maybe just give us a thumbs up on our videos. I low key, I appreciate anyone who checks out our content. We always have fun doing it, and we do it for the love of the game and for the folks who love the game as well.
Yep, and you can check out Wild Roof Journal, available in fine bookstores everywhere, as well as through fine internet connections everywhere, if you'd like to support me personally. And then since we're talking about food banks earlier, the Greater Boston Food Bank is probably the big food bank in the Boston area. There's also Feeding America, which can help you find your local food bank. I also think they do nationwide stuff as well, so feel free to support those organizations.
Wonderful. Thanks, guys. Great shout out. Well, we're going to run through some home game winners and give away some fantastic prizes. So feel free to click on out of here. But until the next time, thank you so much for joining us on the RecPoker Podcast. And I can't wait to chat with you guys again sometime soon.
Thank you very much. Happy to be back again. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. This was so great. Thank you.
All right. Well, that is Ben and Sam Fishman
Hi,
from the Two Fish at the Table podcast. I had a great time on their show a few weeks ago for episode number 99, I believe. And I knew they would be fun and interesting guests for us on the show tonight. Now, John Somsky couldn't make it tonight, unfortunately. So instead of actually running through some recent home game winners, Rob Washam, you have been burning the midnight oil? Yeah, that's what you've been doing. To find out who in our home game club has the highest ROI last month amongst our premium members. Why don't you share some more goodies to share with our audience?
Yes, I do have the results of our August ROI premium members. Number 1, Larson's Opening.
Oh boy, he's at my table right now. Danger.
230%.
That's a lot of percent.
Now You Said It came in number 2.
Nice. Way to go, Joe.
He's always in there, isn't he?
Yeah.
And of course, another name that we're very familiar with is Bone Crusher 14.
Oh, already got the shout out once.
And somebody who is right here in the show today, 40 Hubie.
Oh,
fourth. And then
Hubie.
Anderson
Hey, his
85
Oh, nice, Eric.
came in fifth. So that's our August winners for the ROI in 2025.
And what does the top ROI performer who's a premium member at RecPoker win every month, Rob?
They win the opportunity to join us on the podcast when they see a guest that they would like to meet in person. Well, as much in person as you can be over the internet.
Yes.
Face to face. Let's say face to face.
Nice. All right. Well, if you are, and who's the number one again? I'm sorry.
It was Larson's opening.
Yes, Larson's opening. So I believe that's George. I won't dox him. But if you're
His
listening,
first name
George,
is definitely George.
I think that's safe. I can get away with that. George, if you're listening, send an email. Send that one right to me, jim@rec.poker, and I'll let you know who some of our future guests are going to be, and you can come join the show and meet someone cool and ask them some real questions of your own. And then I guess the one thing I'm really excited about, Chase the Dream. This is such a cool thing. The first season was a few years ago. We were talking earlier about villains and heroes in the poker world, and I think Rob Gardner is doing such a fantastic job to help shine a light on some of these upcoming players, some of these everyday people who do have some interesting stories to tell. And I feel very grateful and privileged to be included in this group. I can't wait to share my own poker story more widely than just with the RecPoker audience. And I just want to give Rob a big thanks for all his contributions to the recreational poker world over the years. Not even here at RecPoker, but with 100K, with Chase the Dream, being a mentor to several players in his own right, and just being one of those guys that's good for the game. So I'm very, very glad that we have Rob Gardner here. And I'm proud to be associated with this new production. And Rob's got a big piece of what we're doing here at RecPoker as well. Rob's really growing into a leadership role here. He's going to be running our premium membership training material and really helping to share how this new community, along with several other fantastic folks here as well, of course. But I'm really excited for this next chapter. I'm really glad that Rob is a part of it. Rob, I'm going to make you feel. I know you don't take praise well, and we are saying all these nice things about you, but give us one more pitch for why folks should go check out Chase the Dream and where they can find it.
Yeah, the URL watchchasethedream.com will take you over to the playlist and the premiere for next Thursday. You can also head over to the RecPoker YouTube channel. We're re-releasing the 2022 season 1 episode on the RecPoker channel. So if you missed that, you can go back and see it. Just know we made it on a GoPro cam 3 years ago. So it's very old school. But yeah, I think these are stories that will inspire many of you because you're going to see people that are just like you going out and chasing their poker dreams, and hopefully it'll inspire you to do the same. So definitely check that out. We're now 11 days away from the release. Jim's seen the first 3 episodes and he hasn't quit the project. And I'll just throw a special teaser out. Episode 6, you're going to have to wait a little bit, but episode 6 is going to be dedicated to RecPoker and the RecPoker community, and you're going to get to see some really cool things in that episode. So if you don't like the first 5 episodes, don't quit until you get to episode 6.
You found, Rob, you found someone just like me? Really? I find that hard to believe.
Thank God.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't think you were listening. I'm
No.
Well done, everybody. What do you say, Rob? Why don't we give away a fantastic prize and roll on out of here?
Now I feel bad because you were so nice to me, Jim, and now I'm pulling this up. I just
Seahawks colors, you son of a bitch!
Scott Lum suggested this.
Wow.
Our social media content manager.
All right, let's see who's going to win on the Wheel of Fame and for blah, blah, blah. I liked you a lot better when this was black and gold every week. Seahawks colors.
Pitch your wagon to an aging quarterback who's high on LSD. I mean, you're just gonna you dug your grave, man.
Oh, big trouble. Well, it came up food bank, so I'm going to donate $20 of my own money to.
I'm still confused. Aren't we cheering for a draft pick? This is a good thing. We should be.
High or low. I'll take a great season or a terrible season. I just don't want this whole season of mediocrity. I don't want another 16 freaking seasons. Okay, Kim Kilroy, congratulations. No surprise there. Kim, an active member in our RECing Crew, and I'm excited to see her win like I always am. Kim, send that email to info@rec.poker to claim your fantastic prize. And I think that's all that we have to talk about tonight. God, this is so much harder when you're playing in a home game. I want to shout out some upcoming events at Running Aces. Oh, just let me fold. The Hallow Scream event from October 22nd to 26th. That's a $360 buy-in, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And on Indigenous Peoples Day, Monday, October 13th, is their next holiday double stack tournament. That's a 10 a.m., $200 buy-in, 24,000 chip stack, starting chip stack, and just more of the great stuff that they have going on over there. We're so grateful to Running Aces for being our sponsor for many years now, and they've stuck by us, and we couldn't do the show without them. So thank you, Running Aces. Can't wait to see you again in January for the next RecPoker weekend at Running Aces. And now I really want to see episode 6 of Chase the Dream Season 2, because I know how much fun we had at RecPoker weekend in August, and I can't wait to see that all captured in glorious film.
Is it rated mature?
I think that's a good question. This is RecPoker After Dark now. It's official. So I don't know. Good question. You'll have to watch to find out. So get on over to the YouTube channel. And again, starting on September 25th, you can watch the first episode of season 2 rolling out. And then I think every week after that. So very excited to be a part of that. I guess without further ado, folks, is there anything else that we should hit before we pat this baby on the butt and roll on out of here? No? All right. Well, then.
No, I had one thing. I just
Please.
wanted to, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to hold a quick moment of silence for MSPT champion Philip Razor, who apparently got bamboozled again. So I just wanted to. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Philip.
that
No,
poor
I'm just
guy.
kidding.
You know, just nothing ever goes his way.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you have a lot of gall. You have a lot of gall saying that, Lorianne.
Gall. You see what
A lot
he
of
did there?
gall.
You see what he did there? Wow. Wow.
Touche.
Recreational poker players, professional comedians here on the RecPoker Podcast. All right. Well, I want to give a big thanks to Ben and Sam Fishman for their fantastic time as our guest. Of course, Joe Coolis, Rob Washam, Lorianne Persinger, and invisible producer Rob Gardner. All the wonderful folks in the YouTube chat, all our premium members and our RECing Crew members for their support, all the free community members here at RecPoker. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Go Aces.
Go.